Success means ups and downs. It doesn't mean $1 million in the bank account. Sometimes the definition of success is I get up every day and I love my job. I love my family. I love my life. And I'm happy today. And I get to go to an environment and make more people happy and have a purpose. And I hope that people are listening. If you're bringing out your corporate business plans, your council plans, your ECDEV plans, please listen to this. This is not just about money. It's not always about non-residential tax. Look at the difference you're making of the humans in your community, especially with the pandemic that's just happened. Let's get back to basics a little bit more. Let's get back to human connection. And what's important in a community is supporting all ages. Hello and welcome. I am so excited about today's show. Think global, shop local. This is my mantra for today's show because we have a very inspiring story of an entrepreneur who never ever thought she was going to be an entrepreneur. And she became an entrepreneur. She had a lot of ups and downs, and she is very successful to this day. This is a really, really inspiring story. It is about thinking big, thinking global, but supporting local. So welcome to the show, Bobbie. I'm so excited to tell your story. Thank you for joining us today.
Hi, Angela. Thanks for having me. And I'm really happy to be here and to share this day with you and to see if we can help inspire somebody else.
That is exactly what the goal of what problem am I fixing? Why am I doing this show? It's to inspire. It's to really grow entrepreneurs out there right now. You can do it. If Bobbie can do it, you can do it. That's all I'm going to say. Because as a business coach, I'm somebody that will have a checklist of what do you need to be a successful business owner? What are your traits? What are your mindset? What are all these things? Bobbie, you didn't hit any of those. You were from an entrepreneurial family and you knew raising a house full of boys and all athletes, and some of them have gone on into different careers. You knew what it took to do that kind of stuff. But did you ever think, I want to speak to the people out there that are in today's show. I want to speak to the people that are considering being an entrepreneur, a small business owner in a small community. And that's why I really want to tie in this local, because you have a really neat story. I'd like all the chambers of commerce, community futures, all the business associations, all the economic development people to listen to this story today. This is how you grow small business communities. So where did it all start, Bobbie? What inspired you to be an entrepreneur?
You know, I don't know if it was ever since I was a child or if it was something that had happened later on in life. But from a very young age, one of my first jobs was working for my mom in a Western clothing store, picking pins out of the carpet of the change room floor and repinning Western shirts and organizing boots on a shelf and dusting and all the things. I don't know if it was right from the very beginning working customer service and all through my years of customer service. I think that's kind of where it all started, but it's just also in life as I had children, I chose not to go into a career. My career was my family. I was a full-time housewife and a mother and stayed home, took care of my family, my boys. Also, within those years, I took in billets, like baseball billets over the years. And so not only raising my family, but helping raise other children within my home. And before that, always running a day home. Eventually, once the kids were older, grew up, and they were moving on and taking their life and going and doing their things, I was feeling maybe lost or a little confused or empty. I don't know how to explain it exactly. But
no, you're doing a great job. Yeah. The nice thing is, Bobbie, thank you for being so honest, because there's people that are watching this that are considering it. Do I go get a job? Or I've got that one little passion in the back of my head and I'm thinking maybe I should just go for it. maybe I should just do it. Every day given to us is a gift, right? I believe that entrepreneurship is amazing. I think the world is going to go more and more to it. I think our education system right now, we're going to do a whole nother show on our education system. Is it really what employers are needing right now? I love this country because this country really is an opportunity. It's the land of opportunity. And you're a prime example of that. Do you know what else you just shared and inspired with me that I hope people hear? There's that old mindset out there of the stay-at-home wife. I kind of feel like the Waltons or the Brady Bunch. And what is the woman of the household do? And to this day and age, there's a lot of men that stay home there. So I'm not deciding here. I'm just going to use woman because I'm talking to you. But the woman stays home and then everybody leaves. And then she feels like, no, it's my time. What am I going to do? What am I going to be? But you know what is really cool about women is or whoever it is that stays home, is they choose to give back to their community. Did everybody hear Bobbie say that she took in billets and that she had a home daycare? She looked after other people's children. This is what happens in small rural communities. This is what happens in communities within a big urban center, but they're giving back. And this is the part that I want to pull the heartstrings of people. There's more to supporting local. You're also supporting someone who has already supported that community and gave back. So I thank you for giving back to our community, or the community that you were living in when you're doing. And thank you for giving everything back. And I think that is why you serve, like the level of customer service is phenomenal in your organization, in your business. So I'm going to go a little into that now. We know who Bobbie is. We know the background. And I hope you feel inspired, everybody, by how she chose to take the big leap and become an entrepreneur. And here's a fun story about Bobbie. She knew me as a business coach. She reached out to me, and I'm not kidding. When people say great ideas start on a napkin, it started on a napkin with Bobbie. She said, Angie, do you have time for a glass of wine? And I knew that usually back in the day when I was beginning my business coaching, how many years ago, that meant free advice for wine, exchange of wine. And so we had this conversation, and she literally was drawing it out it went from the napkin to a piece of paper. And everything in my head, I was like, yeah, no, that ain't going to work. That is not going to work. But she doesn't hear no. Why? Because she got out of the fear and she believed in herself. She believed in something and she just wanted to try. She was so passionate. Main Street Market is what she started. She has gone through a lot of different challenges, which people would quit. You can't quit. When you choose to be an entrepreneur and the hurdles come in the way, you don't quit, you pivot. That is why there's no such thing as failure. Failure is to show you how to do something better. I have seen you adapt with adversity to keep that business Main Street Market going. So could you please share a little bit about the passion? So for those of you that don't know, that are just tuning in right now, Main Street Market is made up of a whole bunch of collective makers and small business owners. She has over 200 vendors in 3 different locations right now: Calgary, Strathmore, and Okotoks, Alberta. So could you share a little bit about Main Street Market, what your most passionate thing about it is?
The biggest thing for me is just seeing the joy and excitement of the small businesses that are a part of us, and they bring their lives and what they are passionate about into our store. We as Main Street Market, we think a little bit different. We definitely act different. We're not the normal kind of regular retail type store. I just really want to think of it as a family and a place where like our makers and our small businesses are coming in, but they're still in control of their business, even though they're not putting in the hours every single day and they're reaching and talking to the customers. We're doing that on their behalf, but yet it's watching them grow over the years and seeing the changes and the things that they do within their own business, and for them to just trust us to represent them it's just huge. I love the opportunity of being able to be a part of their growth and their experiences with business.
She's not kidding. Wearing the jewelry she's wearing today, as some of you can see, is a big heart and is made locally as one of her vendors. That is Bobbie. This is the core of her. Her heart is she was part of a community in her home. She was part of a community giving back with billets, and she was part of a community giving back when she brought in young children in the day home. And now she's created a space for entrepreneurs to be part of something. And that is why she never gives up, because she thinks of those vendors. You think of those people. And I've watched you went, well, what are we going to do? And you didn't come from a lot of money to start this. You didn't take a lot of debt out to start this. This was hard work. This was sweat equity. She poured absolutely everything into this business. This is what it takes, but she did it to create that space for these entrepreneurs. And I want to touch a little bit. I want to compliment you on the large economic impact that you're making into these communities. I've served in these communities with my professional economic development hat. And our number one mandate from council is to foster and sustain and grow entrepreneurship and expansion. So bring in investment attraction, right? Well, how many vendors do you have in the Okotoks store right now?
Probably maybe about 100, between 100 to 115.
So let's just 100 local business owners. Some of them are from other of the areas that are doing business in your store in Okotoks. But talk about economic impact. So if we're to do KPIs and measurements on what was one of the best things that these council, let's just use Okotoks as an example. Their corporate council plan was to grow entrepreneurship, to grow the downtown, and also the economic development plan was there. So they owned a building and they opened it up and rented it. They could have rented it to anybody, and they chose to give it to a Main Street market and grow 100 entrepreneurs, give them an opportunity to move their product from online in their house, in their kitchen, to the storefront. And then, you know what's really exciting to me? How many business owners used you as a stepping stone and have grown. Could you tell that journey a little bit?
Yep. Nicole Boy Flowers. She was with us for almost 2 years. She started out with just one cooler for her flowers, her fresh cut flowers. And it kept growing just from the fresh cut flowers. And then she had some wall space and just more. And then she went into plants, and then she kept taking over more and more, more of the building. And it's like, Nicole is like, I need more space. I need more. And we're like, okay, let's work this out. Let's figure out what we can do. And she outgrew us really fast, which, as much as I would love for everybody to stay and be with us forever and to always kind of be working side by side with each other, it's really thrilling seeing her move out and move on. And now she has her own building and her own business. And so it was great because she didn't have to take that risk right away. She could slowly build and grow that over time. And there's so many success stories. Even Leah with Spotted Sage, she's still with us. She started out with just a small shelf with her crystals, and she kept growing and growing and moved from this room to that room to another room. And now she's got about half the size of the building as she's kept growing over the years. And it's great working with all of these other small business owners because they teach me and we can teach them, and we can work together on where we're going to go and bounce ideas off of each other. What I love most about it is it's Main Street Market, and we kind of make some of the decisions, but a lot of the decisions we make come from the ideas that we get from our vendors or the other business owners that are within our business.
Okay, I got to interrupt right there. That was absolutely beautiful what you just said, because I want to speak to any of the elected officials, economic development officers out there. Get out of the way of business. Leave it to the business owners. Government is there to support. Government is there to put the policy and regulations in. And too many times I see economic development departments, chambers of commerce, community futures, any of these business organizations, they'll actually take taxpayers' money and they will become competitive. They'll be your competitor, and they'll open your space that you could run it. Listen to her. Listen to what Bobbie is saying. She pivots, diversifies, and supports listening to the vendors. Government, we have so many regulations to follow, or our board of directors, that it's hard for us to pivot and adjust. Where an entrepreneur, a business owner has the freedom. They have no red tape. Bobbie didn't go to a board. When that one business owner wanted to expand and take half the store up, she made a decision probably 7 o'clock at night, having a latte in there, going, it's time, and we're going to make this work. And when government gets in it, and I work for government. I love our role in economic development, but I'm old enough that I know what works and what doesn't. And we need to get out of the way of business and let business grow business. And we just need to be there for support. So thank you. I really want to jump in on that, because the other thing is you are contributing. These entrepreneurs not only contribute to our bottom line of non-residential tax, but that boy, oh boy, flower shop, she bought a commercial building across the road, massive, non-residential tax increase. She employed more people. So now KPIs, we've created more jobs. But you know what else she does? She volunteers and she donates and gives back. Every one of these entrepreneurs are giving back into your communities, are the names on the back of jerseys. Really take a look. Really take a look into the gyms. Really take a look at all of the sponsors ads, because that is what Bobbie is growing, is those entrepreneurs, so that they can buy the advertisements and the donations to your organizations. So not only, I just get so passionate. I'm going to stop there because I want to hear more from you. People are like, be quiet, Angie. We want to hear from Bobbie, your guest. But I just want to thank you so much for what you're doing. So do you have any lessons or anything that you want to share to that woman that is sitting back and she's watching right now and she's like, oh, I wish I had the courage she does, because I don't want to set my family back financially, or I don't know if I have the business skill set, or I don't know if this is a good idea. What do you think? What would you like to say to that one customer listening, or that one person listening right now?
Oh, if it's there, if it's a thought, if it's in your head and you wake up in the morning and you're thinking about it, and you go to sleep at night and you're still thinking about it, and maybe you have your doubts about what you can do or if you can handle it, just do it. Like, just take that risk, because when I first started out, I did not have the confidence in myself. I did not think I could do this on my own. And yes, I made some choices that didn't pan out, but that's a part of it. And it's just, if you are that passionate about something, and if you have that feeling that you think it's something that should be done, or if that's what's guiding you and you think that's what you should be doing, just do it. Just try.
Do it.
Life is short, right? Life is short. We don't have a lot of time, and just do what you feel best. My boys really gave me a lot of strength through these years. They are so passionate about their sports.
Yeah.
They have grinded and worked hard. They've been cut from teams. They haven't made, they haven't won the gold medal. They haven't, they've lost games, won games. They've celebrated, and they've had struggles and a lot of things, but they keep going back over and over and over again every year.
It's okay.
So for me, as a business owner, there's been many struggles. When a customer comes in and they get to see the happiness and all the wonderful things that are inside our stores, and we call it our home. So in our home, they come in and they shop and they feel good, because they know they are choosing to help support other small businesses and families within their community. And they feel so good about it. And they see how happy everyone is. And I've gotten a great, amazing team that works with Main Street.
You had a little bit of emotion there, and I want to thank you for having the vulnerability to share your truth, because no shame. And what I really enjoy about your honesty is there are business owners, see her passion. This is what it's going to take. That's why she has emotion. You have to have friends, family, support when you go to choose to be an entrepreneur, because when times are tough, and do not think going into business is easy. It's a lot of fun, but it is not easy. And you shared what inspired you. You shared it from your heart, but I really like that you did that, because that is what it's going to take. So make sure anybody that's considering being an entrepreneur that you have the conversation with your family. They inspired you. So when they didn't want to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning for that practice, or they got cut from that team and they had to go try from someone else, they got up, they kept going. And I think they taught you something. And I think when you were hit a hurdle with business, you remembered, get up and get going. So this is real, raw entrepreneurship stories right here. This is what it's going to take. And I believe we need to be having more of these conversations to help support people. So thank you. I got to share, I'm going to pull another passionate heartstring for you. I participated in one of Bobbie's staff meetings where she brought in all of her managers and all of her staff to a meeting. And at the end, her regional director said, I'd like everybody to share a story about one of their favorite products are. And this is what I want to teach entrepreneurship. I learned it again right there. They didn't talk about the product, but would you say, Bobbie, 50% of the staff had tears in this conversation? Yeah. So they go around and they talk about the person behind the product. They tell the story behind the scene of the product, and they're in tears. I remember this one lady, why she started to do this, and this is why. And it sold me. I was like, what are they selling? I want to go support this lately. Like, what is it? Because we can all click and buy on Amazon. And sometimes we're all on budgets and we need to. But if you have the fortunate opportunity that you can support a local entrepreneur or a local maker, you should hear the stories. You're not just supporting by buying the product. You should hear the story behind it. Is there any that come to mind that are your favorite that reminds you to keep going what you're doing right now? Of the stories, like I heard one lady was like, Bobbie's my family. I don't have anybody that believes in me. And I get to make this and bring it in. And I feel like I'm part of something.
There's so many. It's really hard to pick one. One that comes to my mind right now is, I'm not picking favorites because they're all, I love them all. But when I decided that I never thought I would have more than one location. I thought, Okotoks, this is going to be my store. You know, I'm happy. This is more than enough. It's a lot of space, working with enough people. But it was the staff, it was the customers and the makers that were like, have you ever thought of expanding? Have you ever thought of it? And I was like, oh, never really thought about that. and then me with my squirrely little brain, of course, that's the only thing I could think of now. And so I'm like, yeah, maybe I do need to open up another location, and why not offer this to other communities and be out there. So pre pandemic, the thought was to move and open up our second location in Strathmore. And then everything changed. So put a pause on that. And it's like, okay, maybe it's not in the cards. It's not what we're supposed to be doing. Things settled down, the world opened up again, and we're back at it. And, you know, we're still thinking about Strathmore. So let's do it. And I had a good core of friends that already lived in Strathmore. So I knew I wasn't walking into it alone, not knowing anybody. They already live in the community. They already know people in the community, and they knew it was something that was needed. But as we opened up, the moment we met with our first maker and kind of talked to them about our concept of what they're going to do, and she already said, you don't have enough room. This is not going to be enough space because there's so many people out in this area, in our wheatland community, that will want to be a part of this and just can't do it by themselves because they don't need a lot of space. They only need a little bit of space, but they want to make their products. We have people from young entrepreneurs all the way up into their golden years. And so the person that comes to mind is Gloria. She came to us and she does knitting. She knits. And I think maybe knitting or crocheting, I can never figure out what the difference is. And she came to us and she's like, I don't think it's good enough, but I think it was her granddaughter or somebody suggested for her to come to us. She met with us, showed us some of her products, and we're like, oh my gosh, yes, we need these in the store. We need to give it a try. And she's like, okay, well, I'll give it a try. And why not? You never know. And I think it was a couple months in, and she came to me and she said that coming to Main Street gave her purpose. And it really touched me because when I opened up Main Street and when I started opening this, that's how I felt. I felt like I kind of lost my purpose because all I was a mom and taking care of my kids and my family and putting all of my everything into everyone else. I had to find a new purpose. I had to find something for me. And starting at Main Street was, and so to know that I can help give someone else purpose and feel good about what they're doing it was really special.
So thank you. That I love it. There are so many stories like this. And so the staff meeting, they went around and they were all like, this vendor, this person. That's why she's very cautious of Bobbie. I know it was tough to ask you for one, and there's many more. So I'd like to give a shout out right now. Make sure you follow Main Street Market on Instagram and Facebook, because she is starting to have the vendors tell the stories behind the scenes. And when you learn, it's not always about money. That's we have to have money, but when you're growing communities and supporting each other, it's not always about money. And it's about experience, and experience comes from an emotional connection. And then we experience something. So you are so passionate. I believe that that's why you're always going to be successful. And remember, success means ups and downs. It doesn't mean $1 million in the bank account. Sometimes the definition of success is I get up every day and I love my job. I love my family. I love my life. And I'm happy today. And I get to go to an environment and make more people happy and have a purpose. That's really what you do, Bobbie. So thank you. And I hope that people are listening. If you're bringing out your corporate business plans, your council plans, your AcDev plans, please listen to this. This is not just about money. It's not always about non-residential tax. Look at the difference you're making of the humans in your community, especially with the pandemic that's just happened. Let's get back to basics a little bit more. Let's get back to human connection. And what's important in a community is supporting all ages. I watched someone in your store the other day buy a whole bunch of toys on 3D printing. And I can remember that 3D printer was looking for a location. I can remember from my economic development hat. And I was like, what the heck are they making? And like, who wants to buy a toy that comes out of plastic? And this lady was up there buying 7 of these little toys that were made by 3D printer, making these toys. And I know one of your staff members shared the story of that family doing that. And it actually brought tears to my eyes of why they are doing what they're doing for their family of creating this. But then I watched the grandma buying 7 of them for the stocking stuffers for her grandchildren that day. And she said, there's something about these that they just love, these little toys. And so we're also sparking innovation at all different ages. You got the Gloria, who's probably a little older, and then we got the younger ones doing the 3D printing, and then they got us midlife crisis ones in the middle. So Bobbie, thank you. It really is, like I always say in anything, why I'm doing this whole shift in my midlife crisis and what I'm about to do with the Merge Agency and why I'm doing this podcast show is I believe it takes a village to raise a child. And it takes a community to support a business. You are the epiphany. And I hope that my message with your story, we can tell everybody in the world. We need to go back to the basics with business. You need to listen to your local business owners. Remember, shop local and think global. So these business owners are starting here and it's small, but then they're growing and they're going to grow online and they're going to sell everywhere. Maybe Boy Oh Boy Flowers or the 3D printing or her crocheting that she's doing is going to go global. And, Rocky Mountain Soap is a great example of that over in Canmore. So is there anything inspiring you'd like to say about yourself or what it's taken on the entrepreneurship journey? Or, the guests that are listening right now are either deciding to become a business owner, pivoting to become diversified growth, or it's someone serving business owners. Is there anything you'd like to share?
I guess one thing that I've learned is that as much as you might be the business owner, you're never alone. Someone else that you reach out to, and even like within our makers, they're all they connect with each other. They work with each other to help promote each other. We don't see it as competition, even with the other businesses outside. We go around the community all the time as Main Street Market, and we're delivering little gift bags and letting people know who we are. But within our gift bags, it's products from our makers. Everybody's working as a team together to help each other, inspire each other, learn from each other. And
that's so beautiful. Do you know how many people feel alone right now in the world? And you're never really alone. This podcast world is new to me, but where my passion is I'm trying to do in a story told conversation is you're not alone, entrepreneurs. We're right here and bringing people in to keep them inspired. But Bobbie, what you're saying is you're not alone also for the vendors when they reach out to collective market groups. And it doesn't have to be Main Street Market, even though you're my guest and I'm going to promote you today that it's great. There can be anything. There is no competition. Anybody that's interested to get into supporting local makers or small business owners, you're not alone. You work together. I love that you were scared going into it alone and you found your tribe, you found your people along the way. That, Bobbie, is going to make such a difference to the people listening. So thank you so much. So I always like to end the question because I believe in manifestation. I believe what we say comes true. And I believe I am going to have thousands, hundreds of thousands of followers internationally. And we're all going to listen to what you're going to say, and we're all going to pray and wish it for you. If you had one dream, what would your dream be? One vision, $1 million, whatever it is. But what is the one thing that you wish would happen? Whether it's in your business, in your personal life, or anything, what's a dream for you?
And then pure happiness, just happiness and being able to just love life and to be with the people that will embrace the same things that you feel and just be able to give back the love that you feel and just to be present and be there for others.
That's your dream. So let's all help Bobbie achieve her dream. Let's all love. Let's all be kind. Let's all give love so that we can reciprocate love back. And let's make Bobbie's dream come true. So thank you, Bobbie. Thank you for joining. Good luck. Keep grinding out there. To all of my listeners listening right now, if you are serving entrepreneurship, serving small business owners, please reach out to Bobbie to learn how to do Main Street Market. I think it is kudos to the councils and the communities that have allowed you to come in and are doing it. It's great stuff. Keep it up. Thank you very much. I hope you have a great season, retail season, and everybody shop local. Woo!
Thank you, Angela.